Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to watch the Dream Team on Near Disney. Talk as always about all the best that's going on in real estate and current events within a 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle. All right. Was it a hot one today, my friends?
Mhm. Oh
Man,
gosh.
it was kind of brutal out there, and there was definitely a heat advisory warning for everyone in the Orlando area.
I
Just want
saw.
to remind everyone to stay hydrated and be careful out there. It really is hot.
I don't like
Yeah.
to see the big red in this around that radius that we talked about,
I
but
know.
all things will pass. It's just a day to be take that extra care to keep cool
Absolutely.
and keep
Yeah.
hydrated. I am Elijah with Florida in Motion Realty, and on the Near Disney Dream Team, I'm my little Disney moniker is the Prince of Real Estate, and I am joined down below by.
Hey everyone, I'm Virginia Carlson or Cinderelli for the Dream Team, and I'm happy you've joined us for our weekly discussion.
And then
And
on my side here,
Hi, everybody. I am the Latin princess of the Near Disney team, and I'm happy to be here. My name is Tanya, and it's just a pleasure to be chatting with you all on a Wednesday night.
yes.
yeah, so we're going to just start diving into some of the updates about what's going on in the market as well as what's going on near Disney. I think when in the weather like this, people start dreaming about that autumn weather and that autumn
Mhm.
season a little bit. And I think you've got an article that you're excited to share that kind of alludes to that.
Yeah, you can definitely get the feel of fall if you go to the Magic Kingdom starting on Friday, August 11th, and running through November 1st is Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and entertainment. And it's a great event. The Magic Kingdom is really decked out with all these Halloween and fall like decorations. It really does look spectacular and put you in that mood for maybe a little bit of cooler, kind of creepy weather. I took my kids to see the Haunted Mansion, and there's lots of ghosts in that. And so I think everyone's trying to maybe get into the feel of that kind of season coming up on us. So yeah, the tickets are on sale right now. And as I said, it runs until November 1st. So there's quite a bit of time to be able to experience the party. The party nights are primarily Tuesdays and Fridays, and they start around 7 p.m. and go until 11. But if you are a ticket holder, you can come into the Magic Kingdom as early as 4 p.m. to enjoy the park for a few hours before the actual party and all the celebrations start. Adult and children, they're priced differently, but the prices are not that far off. And so depending on the night, adult tickets can run between $100 and $150, and the children's tickets range right around the $100 mark. So you can plan accordingly, knowing how much the price difference is there between adults and children. And some features this year are a spirited pirate band and dance parties with Max Goof and more. There's just a lot of cool things that are happening for these events. And again, they're on Tuesdays and Friday nights until November.
So
So I, hmm?
this is kind of like Disney's answer to Universal's Halloween Horror Nights, except starts a
Mhm.
little earlier and it's not like every night. So,
Yeah, and it's also like a little tamer, so you can bring the younger people or
family
the
and
people that don't
wholesome.
really want to get maybe chased by a chainsaw like
Yes,
they do at Universal.
I don't think so. It says listen to the pirates singing their sea shanties
Hmm.
and sharing their tales of exploration at sea. So that does sound a little more my pace, even child at heart here, Disney
Yeah.
adult.
And I was in the Magic Kingdom last year, right before one of the parties was starting, and it really was kind of fun to see everybody coming in, getting ready to enjoy their night of their ticket party. The costumes were fantastic; like everybody is dressed up, and so it really does put you in that Halloween spirit. So it's a nice event.
That's awesome. That's
That's
awesome.
really
Well,
fun.
Hmm.
Well, so Tanya, I think you also found some cool data to look at of people just getting in the Florida spirit all around the around the country. We've got more data that continues to pour in about Florida being the number one state in America where people are just coming to live, and it's kind of what's explaining our low inventory markets, huh?
Yeah, that's right, Elijah. And more people are moving to the Sunshine State. And, I found these stats that were um, astonishing. Honestly, Florida is number one migration inside the US, and it's the number two for international immigration, which is awesome. Approximately 1,200 people move every day, which is crazy if you think
Hmm.
about it.
We just had a
You know,
closing today, so I will count for one of them.
yeah, we need more homes. That's the reality. Um, but I was like also looking at why do people move here, and talking from experience. Like I moved here 10 years ago from Mexico, and honestly, it's been like a dream come true. So many wonderful opportunities are here, especially in Central Florida,
Hmm.
with the top notch schools that we have here. I was able to graduate from UCF, so I've been local and I haven't really left anywhere because I feel like everything we need is right here.
Hmm.
And families like to raise their children here. It's anywhere from what you were mentioning, the theme parks, like who doesn't want to live right next to Disney, right?
Exactly.
Celebration and Universal Studios. We have SeaWorld. So it's basically we have an entertainment for everybody.
Hmm.
And not to mention the economy is booming here. Businesses are moving here, finding places for expansion. It's a great place for professionals to find new job opportunities because the job market needs it. With more people moving, we need more workers, we need more people helping out all these businesses that are expanding and growing, and many other things like outdoor activities. Like I watched your video, Elijah, on um, your biking trip, which looks
Oh
super fun.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so many adventures here that you can experience. Then you can also go to the beach.
Hmm.
But I could just, go on and on forever, mentioning all the amazing things that we have, just in Central Florida alone, but also the entire state. It's honestly been a dream come true for me. This place has opened so many doors, and I'm just truly grateful. I don't think I want to move anytime soon. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah.
I really love it here.
Yeah.
I'm I'm happy here as well. Yeah, I love when you share your story about coming here. And yeah, you're right. All of the different flavors of lifestyle that the state has to offer is what
Hmm.
explains this chart here. So you just kind of see like this total zigzag where these cluster of a handful of states are the ones where people are moving into, and this tall line here of about 444,500 people is Florida, followed by Texas and North Carolina. And then you just kind of see this really just people being content where they are in these middle states, ranging from like Alabama to Oregon. And then these little red ones at the end, they are the prominent ones where we're seeing the most people getting out of these places for one way or another. That's New York, California, and Illinois, and hey, Louisiana, being the ones that are kind of that stark red. So yeah, we are mainly focused around a 25-mile radius of Cinderella's Castle. We're Florida licensed real estate agents. Sometimes people give us a call. They say like, "Well, we are comparing those lifestyles. We're looking at Central Florida for attractions and." But also want to see the beach. So sometimes we make a long drive because we're trying to see is like, okay, do you want the Disney lifestyle, or are you tempted by that kind of coastal? So that's fun.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, that's good to see.
but speaking of people's preferences for lifestyles, I found this really interesting article that just came out from a Pew Research poll that kind of highlights buyer preferences in a really interesting way, along what I sort of see as a generational divide. Majority of Americans prefer a community with bigger houses, even if local amenities are farther away. And I'll break down what that means a little bit here. So 50% of Americans saying they prefer to live in a community where houses are larger and farther apart, got some more space, some more yard,
Mm-hmm.
and the schools and stores and restaurants are several miles away. That's okay. Uh, where about 42% prefer to communities where their houses are smaller, but schools and stores and restaurants are all within walking distance. So we're kind of seeing a little bit of that conversation pop up. A lot of people have strong feelings on the internet these days about American infrastructure is a total mess, and we built our cities and our roads all wrong, and we just need these cute little adorable sort of like Scandinavian walking distance communities, everything. That's like sort of the millennials utopian dream that we're seeing. And here you see a lot of that online, but what we're just kind of seeing is that we're still seeing that a lot of Americans are kind of comfortable with like, I just kind of want my big house with yard and space, and I don't mind jumping in my car and driving for like at least a several mile threshold. I'm sure that there's a limit.
Yeah.
So I just thought that's interesting because when it breaks down to the data a little lower here, it says the majority of adults 30 and older prefer those larger houses with less walkability. But then we start to see, just as the memes would predict, under 30 were expressing the opposite preference. So,
Mm-hmm.
where do you guys stand on that? And people in the chat weigh in. Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, well, I definitely think it's maybe a bit of a generational divide, or just where you are in your life.
Mm-hmm.
What makes an ease of comfort? Do you have children? Do you have a big family? Are you living alone? What are your lifestyle habits? And I think that's where you find that breakdown of data is certain people just, it's easier for them to just walk out the door and walk to their local shop or something. Whereas other people, maybe they've got more to do. And so they need to get in the car and move, and they don't mind doing that. But yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of fall in between. I like being able to walk places, but I also I don't mind getting in the car and driving to something if it's really what I want. So kind of in the middle there.
Very,
Mm-hmm.
very pragmatic. That's always good to see.
Yeah, I like that. I agree with Virginia. It depends on what stage you are in your life. As someone living in Celebration now, I get the privilege of working from home. So I honestly don't like driving that much, and I enjoy driving, but not that much. And it's
Even
a
after you
privilege
made
to.
that cool video about your electric car.
Yeah, I love my car, and it's but I also have the privilege of walking downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Walking
Right.
blocks. So like walking in nature for me is like so important. I feel like if you have children, like when I have children, I also want to live close to the schools because I know that they can ride their bike
Yeah.
or they can walk to school, in a safe area. So to me, safety is much more important than um, maybe having a bigger house.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's where I'm at in life.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, I have no idea.
Right.
So yeah, we as agents, like we'll just kind of leave you up to interpret like your threshold for like what is your comfort level as far as like safety is concerned. But like we are happy to kind of partner with you to advise on like walkability. I think when we talk about these preferences, maybe some communities or some neighborhoods or cities were just coming to mind where you're just like, oh yeah, that kind of sounds like this city's lifestyle within a 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle. This kind of sounds like we did a video on the best downtowns, and so like there's downtown Winter Garden, like the lake we built, downtown Celebration, of course, where our office is located. So if you like that walkability lifestyle, regardless of your age demographic, please get in touch with our numbers here, and we would just try to find that Cinderella glass slipper fit for you, which is what we'd love to do. And yeah, so let us know in the comments where you stand. Do you just want that all walkability, or it's okay to get in the car and put on the aux cord and listen to your tunes on the way someplace?
Also helpful.
So,
Yeah.
Cinderelli, on another real estate note, you you found an interesting article about kind of a new law that's going to affect the landlord-tenant relationship that I think it's important for people to know about in this market.
Yeah, the Landlord and Tenant Acts have changed and amended a bit as of recently. And I think it's important to, or we all think it's important to work with a realtor who knows these kind of laws, because a lot of times we have people who are looking for investment properties, and after they purchase something, they need to know what it takes to be a landlord, and to help them find the right tenant, and just give them all the information that they need going forward with being a landlord. So there are two types of termination when it comes to a lease. If you have a month-to-month lease, say, that's termination without a specific term. And previously, the law had said that the landlord had to give no less than 15 days that they were not going to renew the lease on a month-to-month. But now the law has changed a bit, and now it is no less than 30 days on a month-to-month lease, or whatever the term is. It just doesn't have like a final end date. It's just ongoing. And if it's a month-to-month, that doesn't mean it's based on when the rent is payable. So it could be the 1st, it could be the 15th, it could be the 20th, whatever you have agreed to with your landlord. But now it's 30 days, or that's it, 30 days. So you get a month to find out whether or not you're going to renew the lease. And then the other kind of amendment was a termination with a specific term, meaning like if you have an annual lease with a set end date, the landlord cannot tell you that he's not renewing the lease for less than 30 days or more than 60. And you also can't require a tenant to tell you like 100 days before the lease is up if they're going to renew. That you have to stay within that 30 to 60 days for renewal, and also letting the tenant know that you're not going to renew the lease. So just some changes for people who are on month to month or yearly leases. And just, it's important to know all of your rights and what's happening when you want to maybe renew or not renew.
Yeah, changes are definitely good to know, and it's just, it's like they affect different sides differently. Like one side's inconvenience is another side's convenience. But I do think that this is just kind of provides healthy transparency, especially when we're talking about uncertain waters. Like there's no specified date, so that there's a termination period. So it's just good to know that, okay, buyers, your rights, you have this little bit of protection, and sellers, just be aware of that going in. Sometimes fast circumstantial factors come into play, and suddenly people need to make fast decisions. But I think this is just sort of the state's effort to kind of try to find a middle ground that's being a bit fair to both sides. And especially when you're saying with that lease date where it's like no less than 30 days, no more than 60.
Right. Like you just can't spring it on somebody 5 days before you're supposed to renew their annual lease. Like, oh, I'm not going to renew it. You have to give people ample time to figure out what they want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there needs to be communication between the landlord and the tenant to avoid litigation.
Yeah.
I worked with attorneys for many, many years, and I did real estate law at some point, paralegal, and the amount of cases, that are in court is unbelievable. But this is why, like, there are safeguards in place so that both parties have their rights, and they can exercise them with due diligence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because the reason for no more than 60 would be that you don't know what's going to happen with life, and it's just like if you're like 55 or days away or something, you say, hey, I think I'm going in another direction. This opportunity came up for me. Your landlord's saying like, no, sorry, I wanted 100 days notice in advance, so you're locked in.
I mean, it's a little unrealistic to have someone know that far out like what they're going to do, because
I don't know what I'm doing next week.
I know, right? Things come up all the time.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
You're
Yeah.
getting a shout out, Virginia. Someone's Miss Mary Gervais give you a shout. She says, "Hi, Virginia," with a bunch
Oh,
of
hello,
exclamation.
Mary. All right. Thanks for commenting.
And
Oh,
someone else has given us starry eyes and hands clapping emojis. That's Yasmili. I hope I said your name correctly, and we just appreciate that positive energy you're sending to us. We
Yes,
love to see it.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, so I did have one more little update on the Brightline train service because we've told you we're constantly, this is your go-to place to get the play-by-play for what's going on with Brightline. We're super excited for that to be complete. It's been a long train to coming, and we are reporting a little bit of a delay with the launch of the service. It was aimed to launch in time for Labor Day weekend on September 1st. But I think they're seeing that proved to be just a little bit too optimistic. And of course, for anyone who's not in the know, that is the train line between Orlando and Miami, where they were celebrating that it was basically complete as recently as but then they said that there's still a little like dots and I's and T's that they have to cross. So they were real optimistic in March when that thing was just about done. But in the final stages, they're saying just need a little bit more time, and they are kind of issuing some refunds for people who may have already bought in advance some of their plans and rides. So maybe if you haven't like been watching the news as thoroughly as we do with this stuff, maybe and you bought a ticket and hadn't seen this update yet, maybe look into it and see if a little refund is due for you, because we definitely want you to get that if you're entitled to it. And we will keep you posted, of course, on when you can start rescheduling.
Yeah, I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I was maybe planning on going down to Miami on the weekend of October 28th or 29th because I wanted to go see a football game. But, and I thought, well, it would be really easy to get down there with, the Brightline. Just jump on the train and go see the game and then come back. So fingers crossed it's up and running by the end of October.
It ties into what we were saying earlier about just how there's so many areas of Florida that have something to offer that make your state just all the way statewide attractive for these people coming in, making us the number one place to move to.
Absolutely.
So I think that was all the stuff that we had prepared to share with people, unless anyone has something to add.
No, again, just everybody make sure you drink lots of water. It's hot out there.
Right.
Stay hydrated. Stay safe.
We call these streams Wind Down Wednesdays, but I'll disclose that I got water in this today because wine just I didn't have enough of it, so I needed to replace it with water this time. So I'm being
and I did want to say to all the people who are having children go to their first day of school tomorrow in Osceola County, at least first day is tomorrow, and I hope everybody has a great first week and a great school year coming up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know my kids are excited to go. I mean, sort of, but yeah, they are.
Depends on the age.
Yeah,
you get varying frequencies of excited to go.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got established friends and social groups that you've got an excuse to re-enter into now. All right.
That's great.
Everyone, thanks for watching. You can catch us the same time, 7:00 next week, and you can catch Kim, the fairy godmother of real estate, who hosts streams on Fridays at 1:30 p.m. We're delivering lots of content to you. We appreciate it if you subscribe so that you never miss any of it. So stay tuned.
Yeah. See you next week.
See you next week.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.